This is Egypt's #1 for hit music, 104.2 Nile FM. Now, Nile FM's Aware with Adham.
Welcome one and all to the show. With me today is Dr. Nouran, Executive Director from the BCFE, the Breast Cancer of Egypt. We're going to be talking about breast cancer and a whole bunch of very, very cool things. Stick around. It's NileFM's Aware.
Egypt's #1 for hit music, 104.2 Nile FM, Cairo. Nile FM's Aware.
Yep, and I hope you're having a great Saturday so far. Hope your weekend as well is going great. With me today in the studio is Dr. Nouran from the Breast Cancer for Egypt Association, the Breast Cancer of Egypt. Well, basically just like off the bat, because we've had so many people from different initiatives and organizations that tackle the issue of breast cancer, which is a major issue. I'll give you that. But how is your organization set apart? What makes you guys different from any other?
Well, to tell you the truth, we were the first foundation that was opened in Egypt, and we started in 2004. And our foundation is different because we actually help the patients in different aspects. I mean, there are different societies in Egypt which are focused on screening, on mammograms and screening, and they're very respectable.
That's very true.
Yes, but our work is more than that, because we focus on patients after they've done the screening and after they've done the treatment, and they need psychological support. They need wigs, for example, after their hair has fallen down from chemotherapy. We stay with them from every step after the screening is done.
So it's not about detection with you guys, but rather what happens after a woman, la qadar Allah, is diagnosed with breast cancer, what she should do, how she should fix it, and how she can survive afterwards.
No, actually, it is about early detection, but what makes us different from the other societies is that we stay with the women after the detection.
I see.
Yes, so
That's
we do
enough.
both, yes.
Fair enough. Well, since you say that you do both, how exactly do you do both things?
Well, we have two main programs. The first is the Patient Services Center, which helps women that feel a lump or have something abnormal. They come straight to us, and we help them by transferring them to a proper, respectable place for a mammogram, and it's free of charge.
Wow.
Yes, and we then, if she has something abnormal, then we help her by transferring her to a surgeon, and we help her with her surgery and with her treatment later on, and we stay with her by psychological support, by arranging, sometimes we have support groups and other outings that we do for patients. The other aspect is the early detection, in which we go to faraway places, okay, and we help women with early detection. We give them a screening mammogram authorization letter.
On the flip side, or on the other hand, you guys have a different division. This is the community center. You also said that you have community outreach programs.
Yes,
is that correct?
That's right. The community outreach program is where we go to faraway places where they don't have enough services to help women, and we give them lectures on breast self-examination and how they should and what they're supposed to do to take care of themselves. And we give them also authorization letters to be able to take and do a mammogram with. And we stay with them, we receive the results and we give them to them, and if there's someone that has a positive finding, we stay with them and we help them throughout the same way that we discussed in the Patient Services Center.
Very, very nice. I mean, you guys pretty much offer the full package to help and support anybody that's going through this ordeal, from diagnosis up until survival, treatment, surgery if need be,
right,
and beyond. I really, really like this. You also mentioned that you have different activities that you do that, are support activities, so to speak. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we have a series of events, annual events every year. We focus mainly on October because October is the International Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And this year we had several events like Zumba. We had a Zumba for the Cure where we had about 1,000 women who came in. They bought tickets and they raised money for cancer and they had fun. And we also involved the breast cancer survivors in this. Another event we had was the Rally for the Cure, where there was a golf event and all these people came and they played golf and they gave away donations as well. And we had also a walk at one of the schools with children, and the children participated. And
Sorry, I kind of got lost a little bit when you said golf, because the last time that I ever tried golf, I swung the ball, hit somebody in the head, and started running. So it wasn't the best experience for me. The Zumba event, which is a very, very creative and cool idea. Zumba is pretty popular nowadays with the ladies.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I still don't understand what it is exactly, but it's pretty popular, and
It's like an aerobic Latin dance thing. And it's very popular with women, They just, it just inspires you and it makes you have fun and do sports in the same time. So it's great.
Nice. So you have this event. You also you mentioned that you had several walks as well. You had a golfing event. What else do you guys have?
Well, we had a walk at one of the schools, and this was good because we aim very much to educate children so that when they grow up, they're not afraid to say breast cancer. Here in Egypt, lots of people are afraid to say cancer. It's part of the culture and the uneducated culture as well. So when we teach children to say breast cancer when they're kids and they walk for the cure, it's good. So when they grow up, they're not afraid to say cancer anymore.
That's beautiful. Now, my question here is, how does the money that gets raised from these events get funneled into fighting breast cancer? How do you do that exactly?
Well, all this money is kept in a bank account that's monitored by the Ministry of Social Solidarity. And we use it to pay for the mammograms and to pay for the other programs we have, like lymphedema. The lymphedema program is when a lady's arm is swollen after surgery, and we help her get it back into normal. So we do special physiotherapy exercises for her and transfer her to a special center. It also goes towards the wigs that we buy and towards the prosthesis, which is when a woman has to have a surgery and remove her breast. That's called mastectomy. She will need, so when she goes out, she feels that she's normal. She will need a prosthesis or something that she can put in that place. So all the expenses goes toward these, as well as the surgeries and the treatment that we help women with.
Well, here's my question. Does any of this money that gets raised, because I completely admire and appreciate what you guys are doing with the money, helping women that have already been diagnosed with cancer, helping them cope with that through the wigs, through the prostheses, the surgeries, the mammograms themselves. But does any of this money that gets raised get funneled into research as to how to avoid cancer or breast cancer in specific from get-go, or what the causes of breast cancer are?
Well, at the foundation, we do some research related to the environment around women and what causes them to delay diagnosis of breast cancer. And we found actually in our last research that it takes a woman about 4 to 6 months to be able to be diagnosed since she felt a lump in her breast.
Wow.
She goes to a general practitioner doctor who's not specialized, and then he transfers her to someone else, and then they tell her, no, it's just an inflammation, you should take antibiotics, for example. So it takes a woman in like an underserved place an average of 4 to 6 months to really make sure that was cancer.
You also mentioned that you have some international collaborations that you guys are working on. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, one of our biggest collaborations is the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation, which was founded in the United States.
Where have I heard this name before?
Well, Susan Komen is really famous. She does all the breast cancer work in the United States, all the NGO work, and she has partnerships with all over the world. It started really as a promise between two sisters, because Susan Komen was diagnosed with breast cancer, and while she was dying, her sister promised her that she would raise money and try to stop and cure breast cancer, and that's why they made that foundation.
That's a very, very impressive story.
Yeah.
So basically you have a partnership with them. What are the details of that partnership? How does that work?
Well, we apply for grants with them, and we were able to successfully take a couple of grants from them to help us raise money for mammograms and different partnerships like educating the staff at our facilities and improving our website, lots of different grants that they were able to give us. And we also attend their annual conference for upgrading as well our knowledge on the issues, as well as we do a partnership with them regarding the Race for the Cure that they hold in different countries all over the world.
Very nice.
The last time we had it was 2010 at the pyramids. But unfortunately, since the revolution, it was very difficult to arrange it.
Yeah, of course. But let me ask you one final question before we go back to some more music. What is missing? I mean, is it all about the money, or you guys have been on top of your game? You've been in this field for quite a while. What is missing? What do you guys feel that you need to be able to perform better? Is there anything in the environment, or is it just money, more money?
Well, if we have like collaborations with lots of different media like yourselves, that would help us a lot, because we do a lot of services, but it's very difficult to get to people and tell them what we do. because sometimes what we need is not just money. We could need volunteers. We do need volunteers in all our events. We had a very big event in last June, which was for survivors. It was called the Look Good, Feel Good event, and we needed a lot of volunteers in that. We were helping breast cancer survivors feel better and look better with their... we gave them lectures about fashion and nutrition and lots of different things.
So it's not just about the money, but rather more about the exposure.
Yes.
That's what's missing for you guys.
Yes, that's it.
There you have it. Unfortunately, it's coming to be that time of day where we have to wrap things up on this edition of NileFM's Aware. It was an absolute pleasure, though, having Dr. Nouran from the Breast Cancer for Egypt Foundation here in the studio with me today. Now, before I let you go, I have to ask you, you obviously have a website, because just a few minutes ago we were talking about how the one thing that's missing is more exposure so that people can know about you guys, whether it is volunteers that are willing to help or women that might be feeling something. And you mentioned that it takes the average woman 4 to 6 months until she actually manages to go get a mammogram and get diagnosed. So how do people reach out to you and how do people get in touch?
They can reach us through our website, which is www.bcfe.org, or our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/bcfegypt. That's our Facebook page as well. So either of those, they can reach us.
There you have it. If you want to, give back, if you want to support them, whether with, for example, donations or support with your physical presence, as in, volunteering, or if you are feeling something as a woman, and I believe that breast cancer can hit men as well. Is that correct? So whether male or female, if you're feeling something, please do not hesitate to get in touch with these guys and get the early detection that truly is the key. And deciding factor between a very, very ugly ending or a possibility of treatment and survival. That's it for us, though, for NileFM's Aware. Thank you very much for being on the show, Dr. Nouran.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking the time. And as I always mention, if you're one of these people working with an organization or started an organization, or if even it's just a student activity or a social development initiative trying to make Egypt a better place, please do get in touch. Send me a quick email, aware@nileradioproductions.net, AWARE, aware@nileradioproductions.net. Tell me a little bit about your organization or initiative, and I'd love to have you right here on the show and shed some light on the great work that's being done to give back to the community. That's it from us. We'll catch you next Saturday for another edition of NileFM's Aware. Coming up your way, though, 2 hours of chilled out beats courtesy of the awesome Simon Ramston. Stick around. It's